I see where a lot of people are trying to change their swimming pool over to a timer where they're timing the pump on and off to keep from going back and forth to do so manually. Then they want to buy a timer, or maybe they have one in the house that's an electronic timer that they're trying to figure out why it won't turn the pump, why it won't work with their pump. Whereas, like mine is a 1.5 horsepower. It's a 11.51 rather amps, but the timer is a Intermatic timer, and it's a 15 amp timer, but it's an electronic timer. It's an electronic on off. It don't have a relay in it. It's electronic. The relays are not good for induction type motors. One reason is it being a 15 amp, 1.5 horsepower motor pulls 1.51 amps, but the full load amps on it is 20, and I've seen them up to 24 on a 1.5 horse. This one says a 2 horse is 24, but sometimes these full load amps are higher depending on what they're pulling. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how you can use that timer, or any timer that you have around the house, to turn these motors on and off. In fact, you could probably turn 20 on with it if you want to, because all you're using is just a little small amount of amps to do what I'm going to show you. First of all, this is a contactor that sells for under $10 at Amazon, and I'm hoping you can see all of this. This one was like $8.87, and if you can see how it looks there, I'm going to show you how to connect this thing to where it will turn on and off. This is a drawing that I've made up that's going to be kind of simple, because I see most people doing these things to where they think everybody's an electronics engineer or electrical engineer and they can read these blueprints. But this one is a pretty simple layout. This will be your contactor. This is your contactor. And on the sides of your contactor, you have this is one side of your coil that turns it on and off, and this is the other side. And with these feeding in from your timer will be the line out on your timer. Then your timer, right here, is the one, it goes into your receptacle, into your main power. And then this, where would normally run to your motor, is running to the controls on this switch. And this switch is going to pull probably not even a quarter amp. So we've got that whipped. So that's turning this contactor on and off. And this is the line in from your contactor, which is fed by the receptacle. You plug it into your receptacle. You plug one cord into your receptacle. That cord goes to the contactor and is broken by the contactor, and it feeds through to another cord that goes to your motor. So what's happening is your contactor is taking all your load, and your timer is only feeding the amp to turn it on. So in a sense, what you're doing is putting a switch between your timer and your pump. Now I'll show you on the pump to give you an example of what I'm talking about. this is simple, and I did it just so I could give you an idea of what it was. There's power on this thing right now, so I'm going to have to be careful about touching it. Okay, this is one of your controls. This is one of your control wires that's coming from your timer. So your timer, I've taken an old extension cord and I've cut the cord off of it to plug it into the timer. So your timer is into your receptacle. Your timer is turned into the receptacle. Okay? Then your timer out is going to the control. One side of your control here. That's one side, and then the other side is here. Okay, and then your power going in to your pump is coming out, and it's going into one side of your contactor. Now I can get by with just using one side of this contactor because it's a 4-pole. Or 2-pole rather. And a single pole, I could tie the white one together. So if you got a single pole, you can do that. You can take the white wire and you can tie it together and run the black one and tie the two black ones together. And the contactor will still do the same thing. But anyway, then this is the wire that's going to be going into the pump. It's coming out of the other side. And you want to make sure that if you go in with white on that side, you come out with white on that side. Because this gets you out of sync on your grounds. You're black and black. Contactor is breaking it. The contactor is breaking your circuit. All your greens are tied together. The green from here, here, and here are tied together. It's a pretty simple setup, and like I say, and the way I've got this set up, if I disconnect my timer, if I go here and take my timer loose from the cord, then this light was going to go out. This light is connected. This light is going through this. So if you can see what I've done here now, just remember, this is the one that's coming from your timer. I've got the green tied together, the white and the black on your coil. And by the way, solder these things good. Solder them good, everything, especially on these. Because the least little bit of looseness will give you more amps. Will make the amps climb and it'll arc. So, your power from the receptacle into the contactor. Power from the receptacle into the contactor. Out of the contactor into the pump. And it's controlled with the power out of the timer to the power into the coil. I hope this has helped you, because with this timer I can go 30 amps. They have one that's just like it, that's 40 amps. These are originally an air conditioned or heat pump contactor. And if you will notice, you've got two terminals on each one of these. They're tied together. You know, they're tied together to where you can run two shots in them. And the reason for that is because you have the cooling and the heat on your heat pump. And each one of them has their own controls. But if it's in heat, there's no power on this one. It'll be the power on this one. And if it's in cool, it'll be like this. So I hope this has helped you. Thank you.